Alrighty, well, here's part 2 of the Sears diesel swap. As you can see, the Sears is all covered up right now, except for the front weight bracket. I was doing some stuff with it. Had the diesel uncovered for a second. I wanted you all to see the custom intake manifold I made for this tractor. It's made out of box tubing, rectangular box tubing. Goal was to keep the intake as close to the tractor as possible, because the factory air box would have to make me cut the hood, and I ain't doing that. So I made a low profile intake manifold to relocate the air filter where the factory air filter was on this tractor. I got the P pump on here with the electronic solenoid to shut the tractor off. I got the starting system all jerry-rigged over there to just temporary to make sure this thing starts. I have a diesel return line here, which is temporary for running. But here's how our return's gonna work. The bleeder off the injector is gonna tee into with the return off of the fuel pump. It's gonna come back up into the top of our diesel tank on the tractor. And a hard line is gonna come up with a little rubber connections to the fuel pump, back to hard line, and then rubber line to the actual P pump itself. So there's where we're at with that. And while we're over here and away from the tractor, and speaking of the front weight bracket, here's the weight itself. It's full of cement and lead. There's a layer of melted lead, a layer of cement, another layer of melted lead, and then there's like 4 layers inside this. And it's all nicely compacted into a ammo box, which I got the idea from my buddy Corey, which he has these bolted onto his tractor for pulling. I just put a little piece of angle iron on there so it slides onto the front of the tractor. Please excuse my ugly ass welds. That sucker is heavy as can be. Here's the another box I had. I turned into a toolbox that's gonna slide on the front end. And while we were painting, here's the diesel's factory air filter housing. I painted it to match the tractor. There's the front cover, which turned out beautiful. And in the midst of making the intake manifold, I also nicked the paint on the diesel, which I'll touch that up. So we're gonna give you guys an update on what's going on for right now. We also got the moldboard plow down here. Gotta do some work to it. But I'm also gonna have to do some work on the rear basket. There's a lot of work left to do, and the goal is to have this thing done by next plow day, because I got some new bearings put into that. Figured out why it was toasting bearings, but we got new bearing in it. So hopefully we'll be ready for 2023 plow day and 2023 gardening, which there will be videos, a lot more videos on the gardening stuff. So adios for now. All right, it's midnight out here. I've been plugging away at this thing non-stop. We don't have any wiring hooked up yet. We don't have any fuel system hooked up. I did have to do some work more on the frame rail here. As you can see, I've had to extend it out by 1 inch so we can get the motor mounted, and you can also kind of see the motor is bolted. Another big thing, if anyone's using these videos to diesel swap your ST12, definitely don't do the bigger 10 horse. Because as you can see up underneath there, you can see how big of a notch I had to put in the frame, and I'm still not done grinding away at it. That notch there is just so I can get a bolt in. So we still have a lot of fuel system work. We still got to get the spacer made for the hood. We got to do wiring. We got to get our fuel routed. We also need to get our engine throttle controls put in. We still need to run some way to pull our decompressant. We still need to figure out a way to shut the engine off via the solenoid here. We also got to modify the factory tank back there to have a return. We're doing a one-line return, one feed on a motor that has 2 return and 1 feed. This is going to be great. Alrighty. So the motor ain't 100% bolted down yet. As you can see, I started adding some of the wiring back into this. I got our fuse block loosely mounted. I'm sure you can see down in there, but there's our fuel pump. This is just all temporary, or going to be permanent. I'm starting to do the permanent wiring. I got our battery cables hooked up loosely. I got to make up a new one. This one here is a bit too short. I don't like how janky this looks. But I still need to do a fuel tank, which I'm thinking that one there looks to be in a lot better shape than this one. Might swap them over, and that way I still have a solid gas tank here, a solid gasoline tank. So whenever I get another Sears and it doesn't have a rear tank, I have a spare. So other than that, so far I'm figuring out my routing. I'm thinking I'm definitely going to run my wire for the front of the tractor off of this bolt here, come across, bolt, and for fuel, bolt here, which will bring both my wires up to here for the headlights and stuff. I am trying to figure out my return line. I'm thinking I might go here. I think I might be able to snake it through here in front of the flywheel and across, but then what if I get a pinhole and I don't feel like dealing with that shit? I did like how originally it came this way around and back. I might do that with both my inlet, outlet, and then I'm thinking my lines are going to come across here utilizing the factory exhaust muffler support bolt, come down this way where my bleeder off my injector is going to probably meet about in here. It's going to probably meet right about in here, and it's going to go one line to the back. So that's what I'm thinking. It sounds awfully complicated. It is in a way, but I'm trying to hide the fact that, hey, this thing's diesel swapped. Hiding the whole swapped idea. I'm trying to make it look factory as hell, which I could have just maybe made this different, thinking about it more, but oh well. So this is where we're going to stop on this video. So like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for following along with this. Check out the Instagram page and our new TikTok page. So adios for now. Bye.